Looking super good, stellar. What's up everybody? I've been taking some of this extra time to work on my YouTube channel, and also we're finally getting our merch store up and running to have our team gear and other products out there for all you guys to get. I'm even going to be making some parts on our new CNC plasma table for you guys to buy. But what we are going to really work on is taking this car. I don't know if all you remember, but this was the rally car that we built for Blackout last year. And I'm gonna give it a version 2.0. I'm gonna show you all how to do a proper wide body with this Crown Carbon Crafting wide body kit. We're also gonna put a Nismo kit on there, give it a full refresh. We're gonna give it a paint job. We're gonna do new wheels, some new suspension bits on there, clean it all up, and we're going to give this car away via our new launch of the merch channel. So, if any of you guys are interested in winning a brand new drift car to take out to the track when all of this blows over, check out my merch page, check out my YouTube. We got a lot of updates coming up soon. All right, so we finally got the body panels back from paint. So we got a few pieces that are ready to go on. The front fender, we got the, what else do we got? The over fenders, the front bumper, yeah, the gas door, of course. And so we're gonna whip that thing back into shape right about now. All right, so now we are moving on to the front fender. It's a lot easier than the rear. There's no welding and things like that we have to do. It's just a little bit of a cut. So these front fenders are caps, like most of the aftermarket companies do now. It's not a full fender replacement. So you can see we started by taping off the area that it's going to be touching the old paint so that we don't scratch it up putting it on off too many times. And so we'll first start by placing it on there, figuring out where the old fit and finish is around the corners, getting as close as possible to the edges, nice and even. And like I said, once again, it's best to do this with multiple people so that you have extra help holding it down into place. And we can start by drilling our first hole, aligning it, get the second hole, use those Clecos if you got them. And then once it's on there, we can kind of see where it fits, and we're gonna end up doing a cut that's approximately right here, up and around, clearing this radius out, and then stopping right here. So when we get the fender on, we'll draw a mark where this actually ends. It's gonna be right about here, so we aren't cutting it down past where the fender sits, of course, that's terrible. So cutting here, bringing it up and around, and dropping it back off. So let's get started. Good. Okay. So we'll mark on this edge, just to see where the fender stops, so we know where we can cut to. The front has this nice cap that comes all the way down onto the bumper, so we don't have to worry about that. But we're going to take our cut up to the edge of the fender, because once you get up into this range, it's going to start wanting to catch this little inner fender well. So we're just going to take it all the way to this corner, just like we did in the rear from the Z. This corner spot's a good indication, and then we can bring this edge just to come straight out. And then we can start our cut just above it. We don't want to go right to the edge, just like a ½ inch or so above. And we'll just go and draw a nice radius that comes all the way to the top side, so that when the wheel is out and compressing, we're not hitting this sheet metal. So, I mean, you could cut this as high as you want really, but you're just starting to lose some rigidity in the fender, so you don't want to take it too high. So that should be plenty of clearance for the wheel. This is the only point where it's going to get close, so once it's all together and done, you have it riveted on there. You want to make sure you check your steering and everything else. Make sure you don't hit there. If you need to cut this a little further back and trim on this fiberglass a little bit, you know, that's up to you. And so it's one of those things that you want to keep an eye on. So always make sure you check all your clearances before you go taking it for a drive, because if you start cutting into your tire, it's not only going to look look bad if you got big cut marks inside of your tire, but it's also a little dangerous. So always check before you take it for your first spin. And since this fender has this nice little radius and ties back in, I'm actually going to move my cut line a little further back. So right here would be where the corner meets. And so on some fenders, you want to make sure that it comes together there if that's a mounting point. On this one, it's already rounding back in. So I'm going to move my line back on this car. So every application is different, so make sure you double check how that's going to look. And you can always go back and cut more So don't get overzealous with your cut and get yourself in a bad spot. Bondo on this one too. Yeah, looks like this whole side might have some Bondo on it. So got a little bit up here too. And like I said, so I took my cut line a little deeper and further than I marked it because, you know, we know this thing's gonna be nice and wide, big angle, big wheels and tires because it's a drift car. And we've done these installs before, and so I'm just pushing this line a little bit further than before. So like I said, you know, when you're doing your marks, know where you're at, draw your line, and then do a couple test fits so that you make sure that you know exactly what's going to be exposed on it before you just get after it. But on our pro cars, we actually start our cut way down here and bring it up and do a radius more like this because we have all that swing and the extra angle that we get out of the car. So I just push it a little bit, kind of a quarter of the way of our pro car. Now we have this fully clearanced out. We can start mounting the fender up. We'll get the wheel back on, pull the wheel up to make sure that you're not, you know, sparking up your brand new wheels and tires, all your cool stuff. Make sure to get a good view of all the extra dirt that you have in there, and just sling that thing back on. I'm gonna say do it without tape, just because yeah, because I can like feel the corner better.
Pulling out like that?
No, I'm saying like out because I can like feel where this ridge is better when there's no resistance.
Okay.
So I'll find where it's happy and we'll sink our first one and work out.
Okay.
So our first hole, another ½ inch off the upper seam. And then what I want to do is get a general distance for 2, so we go every 8 inches. Yeah. So I want to get a general spacing, so we have even spacing. We got 32 inches from the front to the rear, so we're going to go every 8. I usually try and keep it somewhere in like the 6 to 10 range, so whatever's like divisible by that. So every 8 inches sounds perfect. Go through and mark these out first, and then it's ideal to start with your middle hole versus one of the ends because it's easier to manipulate the fender from the center out than from one end to the next. You know, if you sink that one, it's really hard to get the other side to line up exactly where you want it. And so I want to get our spacing down, and then we'll sink this first center hole. That one's good. Coming down a ½ inch. Edge, check this edge. All right, so see now she's sitting on there. We'll work left to right and top to bottom. So it's good to kind of, like I said, work from the center out. It's easier to get this thing to lay how you want it. So rear is good. So we'll do this one next. Little, yeah, a little reverse burn through the top layer. There you go, through. There you go. I'll just keep firing those out. Let's keep working our way around. Let's do front right one there. So if you're doing this by yourself, you know, you can use clamps and tape and things like that, but an extra set of hands goes a long way. Because these fenders, like we said, when they sit out of the molds for a while, they'll start to twist and, you know, find their own shape so that they are not always going to be a perfect layover fit right out of the mold, or right out of the box, I should say, when you get them. So you want to take the time to make sure you're fitting them up real good. Let's get this top. Yep. So this is where you'll see me start leaning, stretching, and pulling to make sure we get these curves right. Cool. Gotta pull down a little bit. All right, so now we got the front all clecoed on. Looks really good. Gonna go back and check our corners before we take it to paint. Sometimes, you know, like I'll go and really radius these edges nice and clean. Maybe even run a little sanding block down the edges to take down any potential high spots of it coming out of the mold. Just giving it that nice little finished edge before it gets all painted in. Some of the things that mass-produced fenders might miss out on. So that's just me getting a little OCD about it. But other than that, looking super good, stellar. Let's get this thing cleaned up and off the paint. Instead of filling this hole with you know, Bondo and carbon and fiberglass and everything else, we're gonna make a cool little vent out of it.